Hi there, welcome and thank you for being here. I hope you are having a gorgeous day or night. We're going to get you some clarity, see what's going on with the energy. This is a timeless reading. Whenever it finds you, it's perfect. If it finds you the day it uploads, that's perfect. If it finds you in 20 years, even better. Always follow and trust. That divine inner guidance, that's in you. The answer is always in you. I'm tapping into the energy and the messages to help the collective watching this, but everybody's individual situation is a little different. You'll know when that message really resonates for you, and that's when you tune into and directly connect to your higher self, your direct connection to source for the answer. And if it just doesn't feel like it's your message, it just means it's a message meant to find somebody else. And always try to follow decisions that are balanced between your logic and your intuition, so that your decisions are sound, they're based in love, and for the highest, greatest good of everybody. So we're all uplifted in love. We're going to start with the career and life, just to kind of get a general message and flow from there. So let's see what God's source, Holy Spirit, Christ consciousness, our higher selves, angels, and energies of love have for the highest, greatest good of all. Woo! Oh, you have an opportunity. You also have a very special door here. Maybe it's about knocking on the door. Maybe opportunity is about to knock on your fancy door. It always, when I see this card, it looks like there's so much creativity. I mean, can you imagine going up to somebody's house and that's their front door? Like, yes, I want to see what's inside and behind that door, please. It's so creative. It just feels like you're entering sunshine. It feels unique and special. It could also be where you are the key to an opportunity, or you are the key to something being in the energy of prosperity and abundance. This is also more than one door. So maybe there's one door, one opportunity, one situation in particular that really calls to you. But I feel like it's about what's behind that door. Once you knock, once you have a conversation, once you put the key in the hole, you know, there's something about whatever's behind that door. I feel like you're extra curious about. And I feel like once you see what that opportunity has in store for you, that's where you're going to see all these other doors that look just as creative and beautiful, but maybe a little bit different. I do feel like some of you have multiple options. You can choose, you know, which way to go. I do feel like some of you might need to adjust your schedule somehow so you can be in each of those opportunities, but in a balanced energy, because you can't be in two places at once. But maybe there's something about that too. Almost like, I see like residual income or something like that, or almost like you can do something maybe on video and kind of be somewhere. I also, maybe it's something like that. You can be in one room, but maybe do a video call with somebody else. So you can kind of, you know, do two things, multitask different things at once. I hope that made sense to you. I feel like for some of you, like I see a beach and it's like you want to be on vacation, but you know, you got to get some work done. So you're not going to stall the vacation because you have to make, you know, a video chat or a phone call or do something. It's like you're going to figure out a way to be in the place where you have the internet so you can be on the beach in the sunshine, get a little work done, but still enjoy your vacation. There's something about you not having to put something you are really looking forward to on hold because of maybe responsibilities. There is a way for you to adjust. I hope that made sense. Doors are opening up for you. You have the chance right now to change jobs, start a business, or invest in a new venture. I kind of see that as an adventure. Just do it. It's telling you, don't hold yourself back. The key's in your hand. You just have to step through that door. I feel like there's something that's going to feel very warm and inviting, also inspiring and uplifting, and it's going to make you want to do something more and more. Not that have to do kind of energy. Just do it. It's just about saying yes here. Even if you're a little bit nervous, let's just say that's a really big opportunity. Can you handle it all? You're not sure. There's so many adjustments that have to be made afterward, or you have to, take steps in a different direction. You have to go into new territory. You have to even tap into things about yourself that you haven't even discovered yet. I feel like it's that initial, I'm behind the curtain, not quite, up to the podium, or that you're on the bench, but you're not up to bat kind of nervous energy. That's way worse than once you just step out there and do it. There's something about you're going to feel a lot more confident and comfortable if you just give yourself that little, it's like you have to give yourself a little push. Maybe there's even I'm getting a beautiful, gentle push by spirit that something is just right for you. I'm kind of seeing dreams or visions, your pineal gland, your third eye really opening up to give you signs on maybe the next step, or that something is meant for you. It's like a neon, pulsing spiritual signpost that maybe was there the whole time, but you didn't quite see, or you weren't looking in the right direction. There's something where like the wind is going to kind of blow you around, move your hair, and you're like, oh, there's the sign I was looking for. Was that there the whole time? And there's something about something being right in front of you, but you notice it now. Maybe because now is the time you were meant to have that opportunity. Sometimes opportunities come about because if you felt like it wasn't the right moment before, sometimes something has to be orchestrated, worked out behind a closed door, so it's plump and juicy and prepared and ready for you when you arrive, when you walk in. So let's go to something different. This is a deck of cards. I don't think I've used this deck in years, actually. It's called the Angels of Light. And when I went to my shelf, it just felt like it was extra sparkly. Definitely calling. So let's get you an Angels of Light message. What would be a message to bring some wisdom on these doors that are opening up for you, and this new chance or new chances to change your job, start a business, and invest in a new venture. I feel like if you're starting a business, there's a conversation that you've already had behind a closed door or with a certain person, and it feels like that was the key, or this person has the key they hand you towards maybe the right information you need, or the right person that can be helpful. I'm even seeing with the invest, it could be maybe a silent business partner or somebody investing in your business. If you're changing jobs, you could have a hallway. So maybe you're in the hallway now, or maybe you kind of go in a job and you thought that was that big opportunity, but it was just the hallway to get you to a bigger one. Sometimes that hallway is a slightly frustrating energy if it's not what you thought it was going to be when you signed up for it, but yet it's always that situation where maybe the person you sit next to in your job or a customer that comes in is that person you needed to have a conversation with that brings you a different opportunity or supports you on something. And unless you got into that hallway to meet that other person or to get that new information, you wouldn't get to that next big, broad, open door of possibility. I hope that made sense. So let's get, so don't get too concerned if you're in a hallway. I also feel like for some of you, that hallway could be that hallway that has, I just see all of these doors. So maybe you're in a hallway, but now you have all of these possibilities in front of you. I see somebody's name. Like I see your name. Actually, I see your name like kind of like with a star on one particular door. And then I see another one that says like, had to like go out for a lunch, be back soon. So there is maybe something that's waiting for you. Your name is on it. Your name's on this opportunity and it's meant for you. And I feel like maybe some of you have multiple things you're doing, and there's something that just kind of got put on hold. They're coming back, but there was kind of a slight delay. Definitely go back to that other door if you feel like it was right, but maybe the timing was off. What is one angel message? One angel message that would be helpful. Understanding. Every time I see understanding, I always want to change it to inner standing. I feel like that feels more powerful than like understanding something. Although that kind of makes me feel like it's a grounding energy too. So your angels right now are giving you clarity. They're giving you inner standing and understanding on a particular situation, or maybe why something had to unfold in the time frame it did. Your angel guidance is to examine yourself, examine your current situation in depth, so that you have clear awareness of the underlying reasons for your challenges in the situation. If there's a challenge is an opportunity for growth. If there's a challenge there to help you see a solution. So a challenge that's a hurdle now doesn't become a mountain in the future. You have to just see that challenge in a different way. There's something that you are gaining out of it. There's something that you, whether it's strength or an understanding or solution, there's something about that challenge being necessary for growth, for change. Also to not get stuck again in the future. So if there's something that kind of kept getting you stuck, but you're doing something the same way, you have to be the one to unstick yourself by doing something in a different way. Self-awareness, or acquaint yourself with facts about situations and attitudes. That's an interesting message. Attitudes before you take decisions. I feel like that's your mindset, or it's your attitude on a situation. If your attitude is that it's never going to work out, or that person takes the longest lunch ever and you're just not even going to go back, or there couldn't possibly be something magical and mysterious behind that beautiful door. It has to be just, a wall when you open it up. It's your attitude that needs to change about something. It could also be somebody else's attitude that you have to pay attention to. If somebody always kind of does have an attitude, or they have a lack mentality, or they kind of put a damper on your sunshine or your opportunities, then maybe it's also taking your bright attitude towards a brighter environment where you feel inspired. Self-awareness is necessary for the foundation on which you build strong relationships, friendships, and work. Understanding your personality is a basis for understanding your spiritual self and your mission on earth. Ask your angel to help you. Your affirmation is, I seek an understanding of myself and my life. This is big. This is you having self-awareness on maybe repeating patterns or habits or your mindset. And once you have inner awareness and self-reflection on that, that's when changes happen. We're here to grow, not be perfect. We're here to evolve and expand, not get stuck. So this is you getting the opportunity for expansion. Understanding. All right, let's go to something a little different. This one, because I almost grabbed it. So let's see from the Energy Oracle what you are understanding more. Self-awareness. I hear blame. I feel like that's not most of you, though. Maybe in the past and you're coming out of that, but I feel like maybe there's someone around you that kind of always blames everything else for what went wrong, but really doesn't have any self-reflection that their role that they constantly played or did not play in a situation is the connecting thing, especially if there's a repeat pattern, but it's always on everyone else as to why everything goes wrong. maybe that's somebody who's gaining some self-awareness, or maybe you are gaining self-awareness of how somebody always reacts and changing how you react. I feel like there's something about you wanting to be around the people that are there for your highest and greatest good. And I don't know why I want to say not sucked into their drama anymore. I don't think that was everybody's message, but it was pretty loud and clear. So for somebody, all right, let's see why. Oh yeah, you're definitely getting, you have your 7th chakra here. This is your crown chakra. This is that knowing energy. This is where you don't even have to have all of the facts and the figures down to know why an energy just feels right, and maybe why another energy just kind of doesn't groove with you. This is kind of it's definitely you connecting to your higher self, to source. But this particular energy is kind of hard to express or explain, because you just know it. You just know that truth in your gut, why something is the way it is, or why you have to do something, or why something connects to your soul. It's a soul knowing. It's really deep. It's not your brain. It's something that, I'm getting a soul contract. Like, you really know on a soul level, there's something you were meant to do, or there was a person you were supposed to connect to, or there's an environment that just feels like you didn't know why your soul was calling you there, but it just feels right when you're there. 7th chakra is Archangel Uriel. It's 41, which also brings you to a 5, which means something's going to change, or something needs to change. It's also where you're being gifted some knowledge here. There's also something here about, I'm getting the strength of vulnerability. Maybe some of you are connecting to someone, or you were taught that being vulnerable or being transparent is not strong. And yet it is one of the biggest strengths you can have. You know, to truly own up to your mistakes, to truly own up to choices you made that you maybe would want to do differently, you know, with that soul's growth that you have had, or the way that you have seen something through your divine eyes, through your heart space. There's something here about being an open book. Maybe not to everybody, you know, because here you're looking at your strong friendships, relationships, and, you know, what you're working on. But there's something about you having this inner standing and true, deep soul knowing that maybe one person in particular is who you can be your true, authentic self with. Because vulnerability is where you express your fears, your dreams, you know, what makes you feel strong, and where you feel like you fell flat and you are weak. And it's where you don't feel judged. It's where you feel completely, whole soulfully accepted. And for some of you, if you don't know who that is in your life, you do have somebody coming in that you are being guided towards, where there's no reason for you to hide. I feel like you might have somebody even talking to you where they're even questioning, I can't believe I just said all that. I never talk about all that stuff that's going on. And it's like stuff they don't even talk about with themselves, like even in internal dialogue. And yet they're like, I feel like something was bottled up, and it's like it just explodes with you, but in a beautiful way, not in a like push all the, you know, chaos onto you kind of thing. It's where somebody actually has a pressure release because they finally spoke their truth, or owned their mess up, maybe for some of you. And that could be you in the right place, where you just feel like you're in such a comfortable position, or with a person where I just keep hearing non-judgmental, and like it's like a frequency of unconditional love, just pure acceptance, not perfection. I also feel like this is somebody who you connect to on a soul level. So maybe for some of you, you are having an understanding that there is a soul to soul contract you have, whether that's you working on a specific partner with, or a project with a business partner, or in a soul family, or it's a specific person. It could be love that you are just meant to have in your life. Let's continue. With what though? I want to get you another message. So let's do clarifying life situations and then do some tarot. What is a clarifying life situation that would be helpful, please, and thank you. What is the light? I love the hot air balloon. The light of gratitude. It just makes, I know it's just kind of like an extra message. Whenever I see a hot air balloon, it just makes me think of a date. There was one time where my sister's husband surprised her with a private hot air balloon ride, and she knew nothing about it. And I just know it was such a beautiful moment. So maybe because I'm thinking about that, there's somebody surprising you with a date or surprising you with an experience, or that's you that even has this energy of true gratitude that somebody gifted their time or presented an opportunity to you. But I feel like it's now more about an experience or seeing something through an elevated perspective. It's also that energy of gratitude for the lessons you've gone through the crappy, hard experiences that you grew from, and for the beautiful moments you were gifted to have and still get to do. It's gratitude towards it all. It's that attitude thing. It's also where I pulled it over. You know, if you feel like everything's always getting in your way and that always happens and blame, then that's a lower vibration on a situation that maybe your soul signed up for because you were supposed to elevate out of it. You were supposed to get out of that karmic cycle and learn that lesson. You were gifted that opportunity or opposition because it gained you strength, or perhaps even helped you divinely be pushed out of a situation that was no longer serving your highest and greatest good. And without that weird push that felt awkward in that transition moment, you wouldn't have gone to a new chapter or into unfamiliar territory that you are meant to grow now from. So start a gratitude journal. I feel like that message just keeps coming through. Whether it's a synchronicity journal or a gratitude journal or just you journaling. I actually feel like some of you might do automatic writing as a psychic gift that you have. Maybe you don't even know that that's a gift you have, where you just sort of let your pen flow. Whatever needs to come out, just really go into a meditative space, and whatever you write, and don't put your head in there like at all. Even if in the beginning it's your brain, just kind of keep writing. Don't take your pen off of the paper, and see if there's that answer inside of you that maybe some of you need to have that, you know, that in-between canvas or medium for you to connect to that inner truth in you. Also, maybe it's just you working out feelings. But I feel like with this 7th chakra here, you're getting insight. You're getting signs and synchronicity. And I feel like that needs to be a part of this gratitude journal. Write down these 3 things you are thankful for and feel the warmth of gratitude. Fill your heart and change your perspective. It's really the same message here. Even if it's about a weird situation, what are 3 things because of that weird situation you are grateful to know about? Or if you can't even really tap into that weird situation, you don't even want to think about it right now, what are just 3 general things you are grateful? So now you've gone from staying in the energy of the weird or the low vibration that was kind of throwing you off balance towards something that brings you back into harmony and balance. You've already changed and transmuted that energy. And that is the first step towards attracting those opportunities. It's knowing that the opportunity is out there, not always looking for or expecting it to be a closed door. Like, well, that one was closed. That means a bigger one's open. So let's go to the tarot. I brought the light seers today. So let's get a couple of messages to just give you a little bit of guidance on going towards these opportunities, receiving the key of wisdom, and connecting to your crown chakra. Clarify, understanding the light of gratitude, opportunity, and 7th chakra, Archangel Uriel. Maybe you also connect to lavender, even the flower or the color. And I also see with this, I mean, it's purple, but it could be violet. It could also be lilac. I'm getting a lot of flowers. Maybe it's even something with blossoming, growing, scent. Smell. I feel like some of you might be triggered by smell in a good way, because smell is the only thing besides music that triggers the same part of the brain that can immediately zap you into a memory. Like, I mean, the memory, the whole thing vivid, what you were wearing, what was going on, how you were feeling. Like, for instance, you know, if somebody is wearing like a certain cologne or perfume or something like that, and it reminds you of your like first crush in high school, and you're like, whoa, that was so weird. I can't believe I smelled that. Or it could even be something that relates to even an experience. I just thought of the weirdest thing, and I don't know why this just came through, but I'm going to say it because weird things don't make sense to me, but maybe it'll connect to one of you. I have no idea if they sell these anymore. They probably don't, but I remember that at least in the 1980s, not to age my 45-year-old self here, but in the 80s, there were these gumball machines, and they had these weird little, they were like, it was like a little octopus, and it was kind of gummy, and you would take it. This is coming through so random, the messages. You'd take it and you would throw it against the wall, and it would like walk down the wall, but it had a smell. It's also like I just thought of Play-Doh. Like there's a certain smell, and it just brings you back to a certain memory. So maybe it's not that specific, but that specific, you know, like a certain smell, that something you just forgot about. So maybe you just smell good, or somebody just smells good to you. Maybe clairsentience. All right, let's see. Clarify the path. Let's look at the path that's going on right now, or your next step. What is the path of energy that would be helpful? I guess what came through. Of course it came through, because you definitely, you got the High Priestess. I mean, yeah. Some of you are having some really big psychic gifts opening up in you. And, you know, it's just such a myth that, you know, only certain people that are born special are psychic. That's absolute bullshit. Bullshit. The capacity for all of us, who are all made, you know, in the eyes of God. We are all mirrors to one another. We are all capable and all absolutely accessible to having psychic gifts. Now, you know, maybe if somebody worked on something through many lifetimes and they have a more natural attunement to certain psychic gifts, maybe they're just, you know, a little more connected, or seem to be, because they've worked on it, or it's just a natural flow of energy. It's just like somebody who can be a 4-year-old can sit down and just play the piano like, you know, like they're a prodigy, and somebody else needs to take some piano lessons and really put the work in, learn Twinkle Twinkle Little Star first. But the capability is in everybody. Sometimes it's a skill that you do have to put energy into and learn. But when it comes to the high priestess energy, a lot of it is a letting go. You can put energy into something and practice something to get better, but there's also that conundrum of complete allowance, and you just have to allow the messages to come in, to have complete trust in the messages. High priestess is sometimes keeping something a secret, or having that inner knowing in you that kind of feels like a secret because you don't even know how to put it into words. But there's also something with this particular high priestess, because this angel is holding this book. And when I see the high priestess energy, I feel like it's because the lesson comes not in order, not when you expect, not when your ego desires it, or not when you planned it. It comes out of nowhere when your soul is ready to embody and hear that truth. That's why it's not always in order. That's why sometimes you have, a spiritual elevation in your life, and then you feel like you fell into a black hole and you have to start all over again and go back to chapter 2 right after you were on chapter 4,824. Why did you have to fall back? Because there's something that you skipped, but there's no reason for you to have to learn something in a particular order. I also feel like some of you have to look at where you have your natural gifts instead of forcing something, right? So if you have psychic energies, you're usually more natural, at either, let's say, telepathy, or you're more natural at visions. You can really visualize something. Like, you can look at this video right here, but now picture your bedroom, or picture the way your car looks. It's that third eye, imagination, where you can see something while you're seeing something. It's also dreams. Some of you could be clairaudient. You always hear songs out of nowhere, or, you get phrases, lyrics to songs, stuff like that. Some of you just have a knowing. You don't know why you know something, you just know. Sometimes it's prophetic, but that's kind of a weird one, because when you get anything that's prophetic, it's usually tapping into the possibility of a particular outline or a particular timeline. But energy is always malleable and changeable, and it has to do with our individual personal choices. Free will can change that. So if you have, a dream, let's say, and this possible outcome of a situation, because maybe you're tapping into a bigger collective's energy, or maybe somebody in particular that you really connect to and you needed to hear that message from, sometimes you get that message not to just know it, but to be a catalyst in changing it. It's kind of like a big old conundrum, as is all of the high priestess energy. So, look at that energy flowing into you. It's also your energy flowing up to source. But with the high priestess, there's also that pure integrity, pure authenticity, that the messages you are given are for the highest and greatest good of all. Because when the high priestess is using those gifts in a lower vibration, the information that is given is not always the complete truth. Because when ego slips in, or there's some kind of desire for it to be a certain way, there's going to be a hold on that energy rather than a complete openness to all of the sources of love to come in to help. Because the high priestess's energy isn't about desire, it's about truth. And sometimes looking at the truth of a situation isn't always what you want to hear. So you have to have that strength. I think that's why I saw that vulnerable energy before. You have to have that strength to look at that energy through your inner vision, through your inner truth. And it's just knowing that something is working out maybe even better than you could have anticipated. without those messages. I keep hearing adjustments. There's also something about if some of you felt a little blocked, you're having a big epiphany moment where you're going to get unblocked. It's almost like you're going to see something you can't unsee. I feel like also because she has that like handkerchief on her throat, if there was somebody that had their truth or they felt like they didn't know how to express themselves, or for some reason their throat chakra had been blocked, that is getting unblocked big time. Maybe it's that thing that I saw was that one person, or maybe that audience or that platform. There's some kind of connection of real authentic energy where being vulnerable is that strength. I also feel like it's that pressure release. Once somebody starts to speak, the truth feels so much better than bottling something in or masking something artificial. It's kind of what I see. So let's see. Why is the High Priestess here? That's number 2. It's a powerful, usually feminine kind of energy, but it's not a gender thing. It's that feminine, allow that information, allow that energy to come in rather than pushing it or pursuing it. It's kind of like being creative. You know, if you push the creativity too much, sometimes you get completely blocked, where you're like, I'm going to go take a walk and just let it flow. And then all of a sudden you let something flow and it just comes in. Clarify. High Priestess. Oh, wow. That's the epiphany that I saw. The High Priestess maybe is you tapping into getting a little insight before this tower completely falls. You got your spiritual, weather forecast that something is different in the energy of the air. This is knowing that something has to go away. This is the inner knowing that there is a foundation that was not built on, on a solid platform, or there was an environment either within you or within your life, or maybe you connected through this High Priestess energy and foresaw that somebody else's situation was kind of rocky. There's something not really truthful there. There's something kind of inauthentic. And how are you going to build that tower you have the plans with so tall when you don't have the foundation? I don't know why I heard the foundation of friendship, or the foundation of truth, or the foundation of, I don't know why I see plastic eggshells now, like almost like Easter eggs. Maybe it's walking on eggshells, or maybe it's about a golden energy rather than plastic. I just saw that grass is greener thing. So maybe somebody thought the grass was greener and realized that grass was actually just astroturf. That's why it was so green, because it wasn't anything yet really needed to be nourished. I'm getting weird messages today, guys. I'm just going to go with it. The tower is sometimes where somebody taps into their inner truth, which helps them to really see something that maybe was wearing a false mask. Like really, really see it. Sometimes the tower is where, let's just say you haven't been in a relationship in a really long time, and all of a sudden, bam, you have this inner knowing soul contract. Who is that person in your life? Or who is that new best friend in your life? Have I known you before? Yes, you probably have, for parallel lifetimes and many. And all of a sudden, that tower moment is somebody falling into your life, or a new opportunity falling into your life. And all of a sudden, everything in your life is different. And what was doesn't feel like it fits you anymore. It's where it brings you towards that star. It brings you towards healing. It brings you towards that knowing. It brings you towards that true soul wish come true, that now starts to feel more tangible and touchable and real and relatable. And I just heard reliable. I'm getting a lot of downloads right now. I mean, I have this I'm doing my best here. Sometimes I get more messages than my speech can keep up with, or, my energy can feel. And sometimes they're so elusive, it's like I have to kind of grasp onto it before it fades away. I just thought of the Mazzy Star song, Fade Away. Interesting, because I just talked about the star. Or Fade Into You. I think it's Fade Into You. with the Tower, sometimes this is something that somebody was preparing for a little bit, or sometimes this comes through and you're just totally unprepared. It's unexpected. It's out of the blue. It's usually a lot to handle, and it's about how you rebuild. It's about how you handle this Tower after it falls. This is divine energy. It usually can't be changed, but there's a reason for it to come in. The Tower can be a big old argument that all of a sudden that elephant that was pushed under the rug for too many years comes out and everything comes to the surface. Now it's addressed. Now things can actually change, and you're not constantly tripping over the elephant under the rug in the room, or walking around it, or tiptoeing on eggshells. Sometimes the Tower moment is a divine push that needs to happen, because that push is taking away a person, a place, a thing, a relationship, a mindset, an idea, anything in your life that was just not supposed to be there anymore. So the universe is coming in and removing it for you. Sometimes you had the choice to get rid of it, but you didn't. So now, a bigger energy is stepping in. And sometimes it's about you not even knowing that you didn't need it. But the experience of that big transition is that lesson that is so powerful for your soul's growth, that is what catapults you into, I just heard a spiritual partnership in your life. I am not getting for all of you that is love. It might be the partnership you have with your higher self that is guiding you towards all new opportunities. For some of you, maybe it is a divine union. For some of you, maybe it is a business partnership. Whatever it is, it's creating transformation in your life, but you have to be a part of that transformation. What's at the bottom? It's a transformation that's bringing you back into balance. It could also be a transformation or a Tower moment where you see that you were giving to a certain person or environment, and that person possibly, or that environment, was just very easy to take everything you had to offer until you were drained. Not being in the energy of true gratitude for everything that you gave. This could also be where the universe was stepping in here and seeing how your truth was always so giving, how you were gracious, how you were constantly planting these seeds of abundance. And it's kind of like a helpful energy, a philanthropy, where you give just to give, not to get back. And when you give with that kind of truth, even if you don't get it directly back from that direct source, you get it indirectly back, threefold and beyond, from the universe, from God. So I feel like this is bringing you, for some of you, into an equal partnership where there is an equal exchange of energy back and forth. It's never just one giving and the other one receiving. Sometimes the Six of Pentacles is where you just need to say thank you. If you need a little help and there's somebody that's like a little divine angel being blessed in your life, and they are giving, and you feel in the truth of your soul, they are giving not out of selfish means, but just because they want to help. Sometimes you have to put that, it's almost like a prideful energy aside and say, I don't usually like to ask for help, but this time I need it. Thank you. And you say thank you. And if you are the one trying to give to somebody and they're not open, you can't force, that horse to go to the water and drink if somebody's not ready for that help. But I feel like you are being blessed with the gift of a place where it's like, it's the six, but you have this infinity here. It's like an ever-flowing energy out and into your life. I don't know why I looked at that and I just saw like a foot rub. That's so weird. I saw like those coupons. So let's just say let's just say somebody provides a lot for somebody else, but the other person does something different. I'm getting like different positions, maybe within a partnership, or different positions within a maybe a loving partnership or business, where I just see somebody like, hey, I know you worked really hard today, but I got you this coupon. Anytime you want a free foot rub, I got you. So maybe it's somebody that can't give back exactly, but there's a way for somebody to gift maybe their time, their energy, their skills, their expertise. Maybe this is, I just saw like hands now. I mean, there's hands here, but healing hands. That's Citizen Cope's song. I'll never forget your healing hands, my love. Something I thought I'd given up. Maybe there's something about somebody's hands. So this was kind of a reading where the messages were all over the place. I hope it was helpful. I hope even just one of these messages kind of rang true for you. Because I do feel like whoever the collective is watching this reading, I feel like you are really in tune. You're not the average Joe. Nothing against Joe, actually. It's one of my favorite names. But it's not like maybe you felt kind of average, or maybe you were, just, if you were doing things that kind of felt like society put them in your life, or that's what you were supposed to do, there's something coming in where you're like, no, there's more. There's a higher perspective. There's a higher calling for you. You have this inner knowing, and I feel like a lot of you have had it for a long time. You just weren't sure about that next step or that door, or that it was a journey and not just one immediate situation. There's something about you really feeling grateful about your entire journey. And I do feel like a lot of you are spiritually gifted. And I am also getting that a lot of you are getting gifts, or your gifts are expanding, where it's one of those things where you'll have divine signs to take you towards your journey, but you're not going to get the whole story or the whole knowing. Otherwise, it's like reading your last page or reading your story, your bio, before you're in the actual story. You're supposed to be in your story. So we are born here to forget, and then through our journey, remember again. But I do feel like a lot of you are gifted at helping others, especially with the Six of Pentacles. And I feel like that help has to do with your insight, your gifts. Sometimes you are gifted to have like really vivid, energies that you can feel about another person's situation if you are meant to help them. But you'll feel like you're kind of confused about your own. It's this conundrum of the High Priestess. So I do feel like going back to that journal, that's going to help you get more insight on yourself. Let's get one message from the universe, please, and thank you. One more message from the universe. You have 3. Okay, that's cool. You get a lot here. Okay, ending this reading with what's meant to be yours is already making its way towards you. What was never yours, maybe that's that tower, is starting to flee from you. With time, it will all make sense. It's that High Priestess. It all unfolds as it should. For now, I did just say that, there's maybe a confusing situation with your own situation, or sometimes with the High Priestess, it is absolutely knowing that you're not always going to get all the information you want, because sometimes there's something you're not meant to know. Sometimes it's somebody else's energy and it's their business, or something has to be worked out behind a closed door, because that surprise is actually part of your journey and part of what is important about an experience. So for now, bear the confusion, focus on living fully in the present. Don't let that your whole life be, I'll be happy when. Be happy now. That's that blame thing I saw before. Well, when that happens, then I'll be happy. When that person comes in, then I'll be happy. When that door opens, then I'll be happy. It's like you have to be happy on your way to the interview. You have to be happy knowing, even if you don't get it, like it was a fun ride to the interview, or you learned more about interviewing from that experience, or maybe you learned more about how you had that interview and that's definitely not the place for you to work anyway, but you're glad you went, and now you don't have to wonder for the next million years. So I also need you to get excited again. I need you to remember you're not in this thing alone. I'm working on your challenges. I've already assigned angels to you. You definitely have angels helping you out, for sure. And it's not just your individual situation. This is angels that are coming in and helping all of those around your particular situations, so that it's not just where it works out for, you know, in the best light for you. It's that so it works out for everyone to get to live their truth, to be guided. I just see like that light turn on. If somebody felt like they were in the dark, this is helping them maybe even switch how they saw something. So even in a dark situation, they now see it through a spiritual light. I'm working on your challenges. I've assigned angels to you, so let go of the stress and just trust me. I've got a pretty incredible ending in store. In fact, that's why you need to get excited again, because the happy ending, I did say something about I looked at that 50-50, not like getting to the ending. It's like there's something more exciting about the journey getting there than, you know, the end. If it's the end, it might be the end, next chapter or next book. Here you go. Because the happy ending I've got coming is gonna rock your world. And if you find yourself, I'm glad this came through. That's the synchronicity journal that I really think you should start to write, even if it's just notes in your phone. You're gonna see how much this stuff happens to you. You know, you can like say, oh, that was cool, I thought of that. But when you actually see it on paper, you're gonna be amazed that it's even more than you thought you knew. If you find yourself consistently seeing reoccurring numbers or words, it's a sign you are being supported, cared for, divinely protected by the universe. And beautiful things are going to happen to you. Be in this energy of gratitude now. That whatever your journey is getting there, you know, or however things unfold, that there's something about getting a beautiful gift that you already knew was in you, or you already knew you were meant to acquire or have or hold or experience in your life. Whatever it is, even if you don't know quite what it is, know in your soul how good it's going to feel. I'm not just getting in that experience, but in the whole, like this whole chapter, this whole journey that you are on. I don't know why I heard at the very end of this reading, like it's going to feel like you just jumped timelines, like you had a whole new, like you have a whole new life or a whole new energy about you coming in. I actually see that I hear a year. In a year, wherever you are, you're going to look back at wherever you are now and almost be in disbelief of how far you have come, how much you have grown, and how many beautiful changes have come into your life. With that, I bid you adieu. This was a powerful reading today. I hope it helped you. I love you. I love you so much. Thank you for being a blessing to my life and my journey, because I feel like we are on this journey together. I love you so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye.